No, I'm looking for us.
You already know it's happening.
No, no. So Chef Classic is our department. Okay. And those, why you tell me like that?
Okay. YouTube is going on today in case they want to watch you on YouTube.
Mine is Betty.
It's active now. Okay.
Those are.
I'll go to this one now.
Okay. Alright, sir. Please, my boss currently said class, the issue and these are my students for the professional chef education program. So this is edit, yeah, and then this is Iyele, and then this is Nsima.
This kitchen to accommodate at least 30 students by God's grace. It's been a little bit difficult for us to preach this gospel for everybody. Is when you talk about it, people want to come. There's so much demand for chef, cook, but the challenge we are facing right now and the professional fee or school fee. Oh, it's expensive.
Don't worry, nobody is here, so we're gonna kill a little time. If they want to stop me, they have to come back here and leave the football.
So we are hoping this one.
Okay.
Then we'll be able to tell to us progress.
Okay. So are you set?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm using my phone now. It's much better.
I think it's perfectly better. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
And my video is good, right?
It's good. Perfectly good.
Yes.
This is better. Better.
Last month,
Let's
one of my
So everything is okay. You using your phone?
Yes,
All
everything
right.
is good. My battery is good. Yes.
Okay. Do you want to increase your volume a little bit?
Okay, let me try that.
Yeah.
Could not hear me well?
Yeah, I could hear you. I'm just saying shit in case they're not hearing you. But right now, we're gonna go on air live right now.
Okay.
Even on the YouTube is live already. So we're gonna go live on the Facebook as well. So let me see what's going on here.
I mean, see three video me. I think there's somebody up on that or you don't know anymore. They want to open a giving say. Something like a food channel, equivalent to food channel. So you will see host Akwa Ibom, Akwa Cross Food, send him 4 of my videos.
Hold my right hand, it will not come near me, for God has sent his angels to surround me. I'm not afraid. Oh, when we're calling his name, everything should bow. Stay in prayer at all times. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. A strong tower, yeah. The righteous runs in and runs to it and the same. There's no need to worry. For the Lord is with us. Like a mighty hand we run. Lift your voice, raise it high, speak it out, speak your blessings, speak your victory. Cross the mountain, crush the sickness, open the door, take it by force. They belong to you. When God says yes, no one says no. It's your season, it's your time. Lift your prayers to the Lord. I come that's the name of the Lord. He's able to do exceedingly. Oh, hallelujah, hallelujah.
Here is Akamike Bokoroba. Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining me from. And I want to say thank you for joining us today and welcome on the program. I want to thank everybody, all of you who have been calling, texting, and trying to find out why the program was off air for some time. You know, COVID came in and then mess up everything. So don't worry, we are here now. We're back. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow our Facebook page. Okay, on the program today, we want to talk about Akisan. You know, so if you are from Akwa Ibom State, you live in United States, you live it anywhere in the world, even Akwa Ibom or Nigeria, Africa, anywhere, it's all about Akisan. Akisan is not just about one person, it's about everybody, all Akwa Ibomites, okay, no matter Kemoeba, KUS. So nobody else can talk about the issue of Akisan. I cannot tell you anything about Akisan, but there's someone who's going to tell us everything about Akisan. Who's going to tell us inside and outside of Akisan. So no other person than Mr. Ndito Akwa Ibom. He is the national president, Akisan USA. Some of you have been watching my program. You can remember I had him some time ago on my show when he was campaigning for this position. And congratulations to him. And he won it. And he became the president. So he's going to be here to talk about Akisan, like I said. And I want you to sit tight, listen, prepare your question, any question you may have. Prepare your question because you're going to ask question. If you cannot call in and ask your question, just write it for me. I mean, just follow the live broadcast. Drop your question there, then I'll read it out to him. So for some of you who will be at home watching football and all that, join us first before you go and watch football. Or if you can, make sure you come back and watch the video so that you will not miss anything about Akisan. Okay. All right, my name is Edna, the host, and I said thank you again for joining us. And we're going to go on a little break, and when we come back, we're coming with our guest. Don't go away, stay with us.
If I ask in the name of Jesus, he will answer.
Okay, we didn't want to waste too much of your time, and we are here, and the man himself is here. So as you can see on the screen, we have Mr. Ndito Akwa Ibom, National President, Akisan, USA. You are welcome on the show, sir.
Thank you, and thanks for having me on your show, and it's nice to see you after almost
Oh, I hope the network is going to allow us to do our show today. Because you were talking and you just get seized along the way. But that's fine, don't worry. We're going to crack on.
Okay.
You were elected as a national president of Akisan in 2000, was it 2000?
2020.
2020. 2020. What have you achieved since you were elected into this office?
Yes, so again, thanks for having me on the show. In case there are many people who did not watch our previous video and are seeing this for the first time, I just wanted to give a brief introduction about Akisan. So Akisan stands for the Akwa Ibom State Association of Nigeria, USA, Inc. It's been around for about 34 years now, and our main goal is to serve as a liaison between Akwa Ibomites in the states and the Akwa Ibomites back in Akwa Ibom State. So we represent the interests of those of us here. We're an apolitical, volunteer-based nonprofit organization, and we have about 30 chapters nationwide. We do many things from feeding the hungry here, providing backpacks for back-to-school program, and then back at home we do a lot of missions and we also scholarships. So now, with respect to our accomplishments so far, I also decided to add vocational training to what we do back at home in Akwa Ibom, and we're sponsoring about 30 people between IT camp cosmetology, and culinary arts. A lot of people were not willing to donate because of COVID. It had, deleted our finances or depleted our finances. So I had to talk to private donors to make this happen. Another thing that we've done within the 1 year is to restructure the organization. So I had the Constitution Committee come up with a bunch of amendments that we will be presenting at the convention actually this August. So by the way, we have a convention every August. This one will be in Atlanta from August 5th to August 8th. All the information about the convention, how to register your hotel rooms at www.akisan.org, akisan.org. So there's a lot of restructuring. I also decided in my administration that we're going to recognize the youth, those between the ages of 18 and 35, because they are the future of this organization. So I put them into my cabinet. I've also involved them at every committee level. And as a matter of fact, at the convention, I'm going to honor a few of them so that the younger ones can see what people who are older than them are doing to serve as motivation. So again, with respect to accomplishments, restructuring the organization, involving the youth, those between the ages of 18 and 35, and also branching out with respect to projects that we do back in Akwa Ibom State. So not just the regular medical missions and scholarships, but also we've added the skill acquisition program.
Okay, I mean, it's like you just cover, we want to cover everything within 1 second. We are coming there. No, not in the rush. You talk about convention, we talk about the youth, we are coming there. Okay, now you recently visited Akwa Ibom State, and
that's right.
I've come across some videos that you went to like a farm and like a workshops and stuff like that. You spoke to people there, tried to encourage them. People may be thinking that was that place or the farm established by Akisan, or if it wasn't, what is he doing there?
Yes. So with respect to the farm, so I did go to Akwa Ibom State for about 2 weeks in May. And one of the reasons I went there was to inspect the projects that we had implemented. Because of COVID, we were not on ground to actually launch this program. So we were working with the different schools and facilities. So I went there to make sure everything was as advertised. I talked to the students, got any concerns that they may have had, made sure everything was fine. Now, with respect to the farm, we haven't actually done anything in that area yet. What I would like to propose after the convention is an agribusiness skill acquisition program. So I was invited to that farm. It's 10 hectares. It's in Uran local government area, and they plant pretty much everything. But what really impressed me is that they don't plant in mounds on the ground for the most part. They plant in bags. So now you're able to have a better yield per, let's say, square foot or square meter compared to planting on the ground. They also had a goat farm. And what they would do is they would release these goats into the farm to eat up the weeds. Right, so everything is like recyclable. Everything is, like environmentally conscious. That really impressed me too. So, as I always say, people have to eat. And so, again, after the convention, I want to add this to the list of skill acquisition programs. Now, what will happen is you work with them for about 3-4 months. After the harvest, they give you a plot of land to work on their farm. And then after another 3 or 4 months, when your stuff has been harvested, you give 50% to them, you keep 50%. At that point, you decide on whether to work with them or go and establish your own farm. So that was just another area in terms of skill acquisition that we wanted to implement.
A lot of people some people will say, oh, Akisan, they have been saying that they have been promising, they never come, or they never, execute any of their plans, never fulfill their promises. Mm-hmm. Now you went there, you promised them all this. How do you intend to fulfill that promise to these people? Is it gonna be like a normal story about that is it? Because when you say all these things, where you intend to get funds to support all these people?
Yes, so actually 3 out of the 4 things that we've mentioned so far are actually on ground right now. They started in January and they'll be graduating at the end of this month. So we've actually done those things. Now, we didn't have a convention last year, which is where we would have gotten the funds to do many of these projects this year because of COVID. So what I did was I talked to individuals I ask them to sponsor their own people. So the advantage of that is because you know the person that you're sponsoring, you can easily pick up the phone and then have them give you like the latest on ground, whether it's working or not. So with respect to the IT camp, we have 23 students there. The culinary arts, we have 3 students there. And then in the cosmetology class, we have 3 students there. They've been going through their program since January. It's a 6-month program. And then this July, they're going to actually have a graduation ceremony. So those things are happening. If you go to our website, the locations of all those businesses are there. You can go and check these things out for yourself. So we're actually working. The agri-business we've not done yet, but like I said, after the convention, because we go to raise most of our funds, that's when we're going to apply those funds to the second set of those plots, the agri-business program.
So I would say this is the farm you are referring to, the one there.
Yes.
Near. And if I might be correct, that's your pepper, voice lemon, on the video.
A watermelon, fish, corn, and a lot of things. But in particular, what is most amazing is many things are grown in bags, and this yields more than planting in the soil, and it's cheaper because you don't have to deal with cultivation, digging of rows, among other things. This farm also has goats, so the dung that they drop is used to fertilize this farm. They also source for poultry farms, which they'll eventually grow on here. So the plan is for us to start a vocational training program on this property. More details on this either at or after the convention, but from what I've been told, it will be very cheap. And those who graduate can enter into an accelerator program where some land here, which is not cultivated, can be given to those students to grow their own products. So they also have cassava, onions, a lot of stuff. I can guarantee you that. So I'm out here now. Again, this farm is in Uruan. I am so proud of the owners of this farm. I'm here on a tour with the Senior Assistant to the Governor on Bureau and Technical Matters, Mr. Offorebo.
Okay. He said, so this project, you cannot go in partner with these people?
Yes, Akisan is all about partnerships. I always say, like in my line of work, we say, don't repeat yourself. So if someone else has already been in a particular area, there's no need for us to start from the beginning. We just partner because these guys already have the experience. And I forgot to mention, this particular farm is off of Airport Road. If you're leaving the airport into town, it's on the right-hand side. There's a gigantic white gate. It's called Jakaja Farms. So you can even go and look at this farm for yourself. But yes, it's very impressive, and I look forward to partnering with them.
Okay, I'm about to show another video. The one you visited, I think, let's let the video speak for itself.
So now we are in the process of me having a show for them for Akwa Ibom Cross River food, and I'm doing more content for Udia Rivers, Bayelsa, and Rivers, Bayelsa, and Delta.
One second. Don't give more. 1 second.
Okay. Because what we do is 95% practical, 5% theory. We have to every day.
Okay.
But before it turn on, at the beginning of each year, the school year, when you're like 6 weeks theory, and then only practical. So theory from here for the culinary they are the ones you know as the waiters. They need restaurants to practice. So restaurant space they need final practice for waiters.
I think if I should pause the video there, I mean, can you tell us more about that place? Because people watching it may not understand what is happening. They talk about food. Is that where they learn how to cook?
Yeah, so that's one of the three that's actually happening on ground. That's the WEI College of Creative Arts. The lady who was speaking is Mrs. Maria Teresa de Akpan, and she's the CEO of that school. And so that's where we're doing our culinary arts skill acquisition program. So she was just walking me through the building, introduced me to the students, and was basically telling me what they were doing for our students and the others who are also in the program. They too have finished I think they're graduating also at the end of this month. After that, they're going to take those 3 students to Lagos for a 3-month internship program where they're going to be working in hotels. After that 3 months, they will then be allowed to go out on their own, or if they want to choose to work for someone, it's up to them. But that's why I was in that particular facility.
Okay, but she is the owner of that place. I mean, all this,
That's right.
You have been to 2 places now. None that has been established by the Akisan, maybe like in the past. These are other people's
These
businesses.
are brand new projects. Yes, these are not Akisan. We don't own any of the property, any of the facilities. We're just partnering with the owners of different schools to make this happen.
So how are you gonna do that? I mean, is it gonna affect? I mean, your own person, maybe only the relative of the Akisan, the members, or is open for everybody?
So it's open for everyone, but like I said, because of COVID, Akisan did not have the immediate funds to do these things en masse. And I did not want to have to wait for another year before we did something, because like I told people, no one knew what COVID was going to do. Maybe we would not even have a convention this year as well. That means we'd not have any funds to do anything for 2 years. So like I said, I figured that we had to do something. So the best way I could do that was to talk to people individually, privately, and have them donate to the association. But then that money would then go to someone that they know. Now, after the convention, when we have a bigger pot, by God's grace, we can now do what we normally do, which is to set up the committees, accept applications from everybody, and then based on those who are best qualified, sponsor those people. But for now, I just decided, okay, the best way would be to talk to people individually, get them to sponsor their own people, but go through Akisan, right? So that way you get a cheaper price.
Okay, we have another video here.
I've been able to do something for myself, for my life, and for my family. It's a pleasure. And I'm thanking you people for helping me also. Thank you.
Working on the existing protocol and cherish from XCOM class 2020 March. I'm happy that after my NYC I've been able to produce something. Being able to be here has helped me. Like now I'm on perfume. I've sold some of them and also have the one that I'm using at home. I also produce the Jamison, which I sold some weeks ago, and I have some gains which I did not even expect. So being here, I'm not really feel the loneliness of not having something to do because of being here, because every day I'm making some money out of it. So I'm really grateful to be here, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to learn these products, and it will help me a lot. Thank you.
I'm Christiana Felix. I'm very happy today to come and learn all these products. Now I have been able to produce liquid soap, bleach, and etc. I can produce perfume by myself. I'm thanking you people for the benefit you people have given me. I say, may God bless you. In Jesus' name.
I'm Grace from Congo. I just graduated last year. So there's nothing to do. So I just my first day of being here. So I'm here to learn how to make soap, perfume, and many other things that I've seen here. So I just believe, unlike today, I've learned something so far, how to make soda soap. So I'm very happy to be here, and I'm believing God that I will learn more things. Thank you.
Okay, good evening. I am Isika Nicholas. I'm actually from New York. My very first time of being here today. Most of these products, they say, I usually felt they were usually miracles. So I think today, with the efforts of our trainer, I've been able to have a firm grip of how to produce psychologically. I can picture how to produce a soap. So I've seen all the steps and I've taken my time to know it is possible. So looking at it, I know separately. It's a nice thing. So I am so happy to be walking into this particular line of production. So I'm very grateful that this opportunity is being kept for us to provide positive. Thank you so much.
So how do you feel being
It is my pleasure.
No, he didn't say anything. No, that's fine. Sorry.
Thanks.
Good evening, everyone. Once again, I'm Elizabeth Johnston. I'm one of the facilitators. I would say that being creative in life is one of the best things that has happened to me. Very well. I my operation of the field and people for supporting, especially the youth, to have things to do. Because in our society today, we can see that being independent is the best thing ever. So we thank God for everything. I want to, in a special way, thank people for the support.
I want to say that I'm happy to be one of the youth that I can use my hand to produce. Yes. I know I'm happy that I can produce perfume. It's something that I've been thinking of. How will I produce these things? I can produce this professional genocide, I can produce it. So I want to say, God bless you. That you people have the mind to help us here. In the mighty name of Jesus.
Lastly, good evening once. Yes. I want to thank you all for your support, sir, for helping us being here to learn this acquisition. I also want to thank my trainer who helped me out to learn this production. I'm very happy to learn some production here, like perfume, tile cleaner, bleach. I want to thank you people for making it possible for all of us to gather here to learn this acquisition. See, may the Almighty God grant you your heart desire for helping us through this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Okay, it was a long video, but I just wanted it to end so that people can listen to because they all express their own the way they feel about the help being given to them. But now you say your partner, you advocated them more that day. You visited them only that day. So how come they are now saying thank you to helping me?
Well, so I guess before Mbamado, I just wanted to share some more on a particular area. So that's the cosmetology class. They do everything from soap, bleach, germicides, car wash detergent, cologne, hand lotion, lip balm. I mean, I brought back a few of those items actually, and I'll be displaying them at the convention. I probably like this particular visit the most because the first two ladies that spoke, I don't know if we could hear them well, One of them said the first day she went out on her own, she made 16,000 naira that first day. The second lady said that ever since she learned how to make these products, she has her husband from buying any cleaning products in the house. She does everything. So those are the kind of stories that we want to hear. And some of those other people said the same thing. Sorry, what was the second question?
The second question was, they keep saying thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And that was just the first time you met them. How come they were saying thank you to you?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess they should have said thank you to Aki-san. Yes, it was my first time meeting with them, but I do speak with the proprietors of each of those training programs all the time. They give us reports, both audio and written reports. But yeah, that was the first time that I actually met with those students. So they saw me for the first time. So I guess though they were thanking me, obviously they should be. It's Aki-san that's doing the work.
Okay, now you went to all these places owned by some other people and all that. What is the plan of Aki-san? Aki-san intended to do something on their own to have their name label to it, to say, okay, Aki-san I can open this, this for Aki-san. Aki-san I can open this place for Aki-san rather than partnering with other people. Is there any plan like that?
Yes, so in the long term, there are plans like that. Like I said, I believe just personally, even without being president, in partnerships and collaborations, right? It's much cheaper. You don't have to do everything from scratch, and then you can borrow from the expertise of other people. Having said that, one of the things that I discussed with the governor while I was there was the need to have a place of our own. And he did promise us to give us a block. There's a vocational training center, I think, under construction right now. So he's going to give us a block, and that will be called the Aki-san Vocational Training Center. So that one will be our own place. Did you hear me?
I think you have a call coming in your own word.
Yeah. So how much of that did you hear?
Where you said the governor has given you or promised to give some building or whatever, a
Yes.
building
So there's a vocational training center at Ikorada in Ibiana, local government area. I think it's off Ikorekbene Road, close to Akwaita or even before. So he did say that once that was completed, he promised to give us a block there, and it would be called the Aki-san Vocational Training Center. So that one would be ours.
Okay. All right, let's move to the convention. You've been talking about convention. Pandemic came, everything turned upside down. A lot of people must have forgotten about convention. A lot of people must have forgotten about so many things, a lot of activities and all that. Now, last year, I don't think if there was any Aki-san convention last year. Are we expecting anyone today this year?
Yes, so as God would. So when we started off initially, we started planning back in October of last year. COVID was probably still at its peak, but there was good news across the horizon. So we were planning on admitting only half the number of people that we would normally admit in any given year. But again, because of the speed with which the vaccines were developed, they were monitoring, everything on a monthly basis. And now, as a matter of fact, according to the news I watched this morning, 60% of adults in America have been fully vaccinated. So now we've opened it up from the 700-800 that we wanted to admit to now it's 100%. So it's going to be the full-scale convention that we normally have, prior to COVID.
Okay, what should we expect from this convention?
Yes. So my key thing is convention should be about fundraising. So my whole effort is to help, again, to raise enough money to continue the programs we're having right now, which is the IT camp, the Culinary Arts School and Cosmetology, and also donate money to fund some new projects like the agribusiness. I'm also looking to donate books to various public universities in Akwa Ibom State. We might still be able to do medical missions, offer scholarships to students. So that's the main focus. Having said that, we expect people to come into town on Thursday, August 5th. It's from August 5th to August 8th. It's going to be in Atlanta, at a place called the Atlanta Marriott Marquis. It's the same place we had convention in 2017. So Thursday night, we expect people to arrive. The Atlanta chapter of Akisan will host everyone to a welcome party at Akwa Ibom House. The address, everything is on the website. Friday, we're going to have a business summit featuring about 3 or 4 individuals presenting us ideas on how to take these businesses back to Akwa Ibom State. And then in the evening, we're going to have a cultural night, which is where we we display our own food. We have our own food, various cultural displays. We'll have Mr. and Miss Akisan pageants. And then we're going to also award the youth and also some people by the Board of Trustees for, recognizing them for what they've done for the community. Then on Saturday, in the morning, we're going to have a youth summit. We're going to have a women's summit. So the women's wing is something that has been revamped under this administration. So they're going to be there. We're hoping that Her Excellency, the governor's wife, will be there to speak to the women based on the FAIRE program she's having back at home. And then in the evening is our main event, which is the fundraiser. Various people will give speeches, we raise money, and then Sunday morning, most people leave, but we try to have a Sunday morning service after the convention, and that pretty much ends the convention officially. Atlanta chapter is also talking about having a farewell party. So there will be a welcome party Thursday, farewell party Sunday, and then till we meet again the following convention next year.
Okay, for what I can understand is that Akisan is based on fundraising.
That's
so
right.
What during the convention you don't have enough, you don't raise enough money. What are you gonna do?
Well, so then we have to think outside the box. We have to come up with other ways. So, for example, like I mentioned, there was no convention last year, so we did not raise any money whatsoever. But that did not stop me from figuring out ways to raise money to implement various projects. So like I said, I started talking to individuals. I started talking to corporations to see if we can get donations from those corporations to do something. We shouldn't have to wait to a convention, to your point, to get money, because again, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Or maybe we're thinking of raising $1 million, but we only raised 500,000. So what do we do? So I'm trying to get people to understand that with respect to Akisan, it should not be something where we're always taking out of to fund things. We should be able to add. So various committees, various individuals have been donating to us, right? As opposed to us always trying to seek from our members and taking out. So to
in the past,
question, I hope that
they always say that when they donate money to Akisan, they misuse the fund. So now you want to go on this, you want people to come and donate. Don't you think people will say, oh, when I donate this time, it's going to be like the way it used to. They will take my money, they will not do what they said they will do.
Well,
so what can you tell to people like some people who have this kind of concern in their mind? How can you encourage them? What can you say to encourage them to come out and then bring out their money and give and believe that, yes, Akisan said they will do this, and if I give my money, they will do the same thing. What can you tell such people?
Encouraged to donate money, and I guarantee that you will see where that money is going. As a matter of fact, there was a lady. I'm currently in Nashville, Tennessee. I live in Atlanta, but I came to support them at their annual picnic. And there was a lady who said the exact same thing. Never donate to Akisan again because it's always the same story. And I showed her, apparently she didn't see anything that I've done so far. I showed them to her, and she had a change of mind. She said, based on what she has seen, she's now convinced that at least for the first one is good. And if you can get more like that, if she can share this success story with, I believe it may not be right away, but over time, people will be more convinced and trusting in the organization to do what they say they're going to do.
I know what I'm going to ask you is not something that you're not familiar with. I remember one time ago during the convention issue, they invited the officials to come for the convention, and I think they were turned back or whatever happened. I wasn't there, so I think after that they lost interest may come attending the conventions and stuff, Akisan convention. So what have you done to bring this, or to fill in, what have you done to fill the gap so that everything will come back to normal as it used to be?
done with a project, for example, like to do a self-assessment. And after talking to those people after that convention, that was 2017, I came to find that it was just a lack of communication prior to the convention and during the convention. So as president, like you said, I went home back in May. I was able to meet with these same people and have discussions in advance. That way there are no surprises. So now they've gotten the full assurance and it's not going to happen. Like I said, I believe in transparency. I believe in full communication. So the more information you give people up front, give them an opportunity to address their concerns. We may not agree on anything, but at least we'll reach middle ground on most things. So they are coming. Lord willing, the governor is coming. His wife is coming. They're coming as they normally with other members of the state delegation. And everything has returned to normal as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, that's one. I remember during your campaign, there was a lot of problems. Like who wants to be the president, who doesn't want to be the president. After, when you won the election, there was a lot of divisions and all that. So what can you tell us, or can you tell people listening to you, or maybe they will listen to you later, how have you make any effort to reconcile those people?
Yes, so it's I guess rather unfortunate, maybe I shouldn't say that, but it is what it is that, for a nonprofit organization, there's no pay, everyone is volunteering, that some people take this thing very, very personal. I ran in 2018, I lost. I did not blame anyone. I did a self-assessment. I ran again in 2020 and I won. But there are people, I guess, who felt that they should have been the ones to win, which is fine. I expect everyone to serve. That's not feasible. But yeah, with respect to your question, I have reached out from day one to every single chapter of the association. And I'm proud to announce that with the exception of one, I believe maybe two at the most, all those chapters that had withdrawn are now back into the... It's all about communication, letting people know that this is not what the administration has done, because it's about what I said I would do. They've seen that it is working, and now they've come back to help contribute towards the growth of the association.
Wow, that's fantastic. Good. Okay, you said one of your words before you, is to make sure that everything is transparent. And we are aware, I believe you're aware, that there was an issue of misuse of fund. So have you been able to recover all those money, or are you trying to? Any idea?
So based on the feedback that we received, we did set up a committee to do investigations into all those issues. At the business meeting, we're going to a convention Friday, August 6th. That committee will present its, whatever comes out of it, they'll make recommendations. The people will now decide on the next steps. So if, again, they were not able to account for XYZ, the committee is what we recommend to get those monies back. And then the people, based on those recommendations, will vote on the best course of action. But I can assure everyone that at least under my administration, we're not taking anything sitting down. And I also invite, like I said, when I leave, I want, just as we're getting other administrations, investigate my administration as well. It's nothing personal. It's not just about me. It's about ensuring that this association lasts, 10, 20, 40, 50 years after, gone. We have to be transparent. We have to let people, know that their money is taken well care of and that it's being well spent. And one of the ways of doing that is to make sure that we're as transparent and accountable to the people as possible.
Okay. Now, what should we expect from you in the next coming years in office?
Yes. So, Aki-san, presidents go for 2 years. There's no re-election. I've just done my first year. And then in the next year, what to do is strengthen and expand upon the programs that I've started on now. Like I said, we have 3 programs, the Culinary Arts IT Camp and Cosmetology. I want to expand. We graduated about 30 people this time around, come July 31st, in the next people. I also want to create a standing committee that find any projects that last beyond the 2 years that I'm in office, then it can expand beyond years. We shouldn't be limited to 3-month projects just because we want to make sure everything is done within my term. Another thing I did when I was at home, I spoke with the Director General of the Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation. We're going to have a show called the Diaspora Show. So anything Akwa Ibom anywhere in the world will be on that show. It's going to be once a month for now. And then if people advertise businesses, they have the opportunity to do that. I may have mentioned at the beginning of the show that America might be seen as number one with respect to the Akwa Ibom community, but I take this thing global. Contacted 6 national presidents worldwide. I'd like to get as many of them as this. So I know the president of Italy, Germany, South Africa, and Ghana. Myself, we have a WhatsApp, and I get all about collaboration. So to take the Akwa Ibom message wide, it shouldn't just be stuck in America. Whenever we go home, it's good that the U.S. is represented, but we block from all over the world. One thing the governor asked us to do is to provide face masks to these public secondary school students in Akwa Ibom State. So I'm going to be working with these organizations worldwide to happen, so it's not just a U.S. thing. So again, in my next year, in addition to expanding upon this year, I also want to take the Akwa Ibom brand worldwide, just something that is identified with the United States.
Okay, viewers or listeners, we are having today on the set Mr. Ndito Akwa Ibom, National President Akisan USA. The phone line is open. You can send in your question, or you can ask him a question. You can call in and ask him a question. Please, when you are asking a question, make sure your question is polite, so that you can get a polite answer. So, okay. Like I said, please send a polite question so that I can read out your question. So if you ask something that got nothing to do with Akisan, I'm sorry, I won't be able to read out your question. Thank you. Okay. Now, you have just told us what you will do in the next year. I mean, still in the office. So you talk about yourself. What about the youth? Now I'm bringing the youth in because I think I fall in that category as well. You say you have given them opportunities to serve Akisan. Where, in what area? Is it the
so
leadership?
We have
Are they among your cabinet members, or just to say youth so that they will not say I didn't do it? Just stay your way. Then I'll operate my own thing with our own categories of people. So how do you get them involved? So
it started with, like I always like to practice what I preach. So in situation, so we have 6 executive members in my exco. 2 of them, as at the time I got work, step number 1. I was going to involve the women. The members of my cabinet are women. And with respect to the youth, we have various committees. I was talking to many of these people prior to my election. They thought that these committees were meant for just adults. And I said, no, that is. So I made sure that I have at least one youth member, because if they do not learn and get that experience, how can they eventually evolve? In the convention planning process, I've also used at the council level. The youth have never been involved. I have the council, so at least they can hear with writing and understand the processes. So I'm also doing my best. I'm talking to chapter presidents to also encourage the youth at the chapter level to get involved, because Akisan is chapter based. So learn from the chapter and do it, if you will, to the national. So those are some of the few things. Like I said, I'm also recognizing some youth at the convention, because I want the younger people to see what, that we have people who are able, people who have done for themselves, for their chapters, communities, and hopefully that will the younger ones to also do like them when they get into that age category.
Okay. I think this person is a new person. Is asking, please. I want to. What Akisan is all about.
So Aki non-profit organization. I guess at the beginning of the video I explained what it is. Non-political, we're volunteer-based, nobody gets paid. Liaison between the Akwa Ibomites in the United States and those back at home in the Akwa Ibom state. We like to help, if there are people who want to businesses, we see how to make that happen. If people have any issues, even in the United States, we like to help them. We have about 30 major operators are also doing a local level. So whether it's feeding the homeless, feeding the hungry, winter time providing those people before school starts, for students, like during this COVID drives, a lot of things both in the United States, but our primary focus is in Nigeria.
So you talk about scholarship. So does Akisan still giving out scholarship to people?
Yeah, so unfortunately, because of some issues in the past administrations, the scholarship was suspended. In my administration, what we're going to do is we're going to give a scholarship to one student per local government area. So that's 31 of them. More information on this after the convention in terms of the requirements, when the applications will be coming out, when we make the decisions. And we're looking at awarding this scholarship March, April of next year. And by the way, these scholarships, we do not give students. We work with the schools and not in the students' hands. Lord willing, we will be able to not only kickstart another scholarship process post-convention, but we're actually going to take March, April of next year.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, before we go, finally, what would you like to say to the people of Akisan?
So, again, Edna, the opportunity to be on your show coming on, and I look forward to being on again. With respect to Kisan General membership, thank you for all the support, whether you're a youth member and everybody. Thanks for your support. I hope that I made certain promises before I became president. You trusted me to carry out those, and to the best of my ability. I want to thank members of the committee for supporting me as well. I want to thank all the members of the council, without whom I would get no approvals to do these things. So again, I made you proud. The Lord willing, with your help, with your support, and only go higher. So thank you very much, and look forward to seeing all of you in Atlanta in 25 days at the convention.
So the final word is, people should trust you, to believe in you, that you will make Akisan great again.
Yes, Lord willing, that will be the case. And I pray that I'm gone, that those can even be better than I am. Because again, it's not about me, progress and growth of the association. So it's about we reach the potential we know.
That's really good. You have come on the show, and this just occurred to me now. You speak about Akisan, you talk about the youth, you talk about the women. I think I would like to have the First Lady of Akisan on the show, so that then we will know how you are dealing with the women. If what you are telling us today, it's exactly what is happening with the women. So we'll be able to communicate. We'll be able to say something if there's palliative have reached our hands or not. So I will be very happy to have the First Lady of Akisan on the show. Before the year runs out. To be able to tell us, put us in a very good light for what's going on with the women.
Yeah, I have no issues with that. After this show, I'm going to talk to her, and then I think, even if you don't have her information, you guys can communicate.
All right, thank you so much for being on the show today. For me, I have no question for you unless you have something you want to ask your audience. You want to tell them, want to say something to them before you go. I think you have already done that anyway. Do you still have more to say?
I think I have, but I will add one more. I know you're in England. I think the final is taking place maybe very shortly. So they say it's coming home. So let's.
Finger cross. Finger cross. Finger cross. We want it home. We haven't had it for a very long time. So I think we want it home. That is why I'm just hanging myself here on my own. So because of England for today. I thank God everything. Anyway, thank you so much, Mr. Ndito Akwa Ibom, for being on this show, and then thank you for all your good work you've done in Akisan. Honestly, if I said my eyes are not there, I'm lying. So my eyes are everywhere. So I got a lot of feedbacks and all that. You're doing a good job and a great job. That is personally for me, for what I've observed, what I've heard. People told me. So I want to say thank you and continue with your good job. So I just hope the only level I want is let the palliative flow.
Exactly, right?
Thank you so much. And okay. All right. Thank you too for all of you to watching me from home. I mean, what can I say? I don't have nothing to add to what I've just have just said to us. So I want to say God should just guide him and protect him and direct him so that he can direct others, us, because I believe that Akisan is in USA, but Akisan is everywhere, you know. So I want to say thank you so much for all of you. If you are sending your question, you send it late, and the phone line was open, and then people were choosing to send a text. Like I said, I got a lot of texts here, but that was outside what we were talking about today. You know, we were not talking about personal issues. We're talking about Akisan. But the question I had today was about too much personal. So that's why I didn't read some of your questions. So sorry. Maybe next time you just listen to what we are talking about and the topic, and then just follow and put in your question. Then your question can be put across to the guest on the show. All right. This is where I'm going to draw my line for today. I want to say thank you very much for watching, and we are back. You know, we're just up because of the pandemic, and the studio was not big enough to accommodate a lot of people. So now things is okay. The show is back now. So send in your feedback and what you think that we should do to improve the show. And if you want to be on the show as well, get in touch with me, and then we know how to organize that so that you can be on the show. So as for me, I want to say thank you so much. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our Facebook page. If someone you know that are not here today, share it to the person, because when there's a big football match today. After the match, people will come back and watch. So keep on sharing the broadcast so that a lot of people will listen to it, and then maybe might learn one or two things from there. Okay, so I just want to thank you so much. Let me not take much of your time. We're 11 minutes over our normal time. So thank you and God bless you.
Pray. Even though the darkness covers the earth, pain and sorrow covers the people, the Lord shall rise upon me, and His glory be seen upon me, and I will not be afraid. Yeah, boy. Wenze njalo lo Jesu Gobu ya uphendula umkhuleko Tshele bonke hlale edolweni umbizi Ngithi mthembu ulungile Yebo indlebe yakhe ilindele ukuzwa kuwe Wena mtshele njalo Konke ofuna ukumazisa kona Yena uzolungisa konke Hey ukhuleko ke
Though 1,000 fall at my side And 10,000 fall at my right hand It will not come near me For God has sent His angels to surround me I'm not afraid Oh When we call in Jesus
Everything should bow Stay in prayer at all times
The name of the Lord is a strong tower The righteous runs in and
Righteous runs to it and are saved
There's no need to worry For the Lord is with us Like a mighty heavy one Lift your voice, raise it high Speak it out, speak your blessings Speak your victory Cross the mountain, crush your sickness Open the door, take it by force They belong to you when God says yes No one says no It's your season, it's your time Lift your prayers to the Lord I come
That's the name of the Lord He's able to do exceedingly Hallelujah
If I ask in the name of Jesus, He will answer.
Oh, He's worthy He's able to do exceedingly abundantly above
When we
all
call, He answers. When we call, He will answer. Akamiko pokorobo. Woo! Akamiko pokorobo. Akamiko pokorobo. Akamiko pokorobo. Akamiko pokorobo.